I think Steve Jobs probably says this much better. I think in his, he's done that commencement speech, the really famous one, where he sort of says, you never really know how the dots are going to connect later, but invariably they do. And whatever those dots are at the time, you might think it's quite random, like, oh, what am I doing? Is this the direction I want to be going in? But I just don't think careers are always a straight line. And you always bring an element of that past experience into your current role. And it means that what you bring to your current role is unique because it's based on these other aspects. And as long as you're open in life to, those other experiences, you can bring all of that together. Hi, I'm Alice Nathoo, and I'm Head of Social Impact at Headspace. If you haven't heard of Headspace, we're a health and wellbeing platform which can help you with anything from sleeping better, stressing less, and focus. And Social Impact is our programs for societal good, where we run a Free for Educators program. So any teachers in primary or secondary school get free access to Headspace. And we just launched in the US Headspace for Teens, which we're hoping to roll out into the UK later this year. At school, I was one of those people who never really wanted to focus on either the arts or science or languages. So I ended up doing a bit of a spread. I think I did maths A-level and history and politics, so to kind of keep it as broad as possible. But yeah, I sometimes think we have to sort of focus a bit too early on A-levels. I wish I'd kind of been able to do more, but it doesn't matter. You can carry on. I mean, I'm doing right now a psychology and sociology course, like outside of my work, just because it's something I'm interested in. And, you carry on learning, your whole life. I was actually working in London and it was in the recession and they were actually laying people off at the agency I was working at. And I went to the bosses and I said, can you lay me off? And they were like, no, we don't. But I said, well, look, actually, could I take an unpaid sabbatical then for a bit? I think I've been working there a few years. And at the time I'd broken up with my boyfriend and I was a bit stuck and I wasn't really sure what I was doing with my life. It was kind of probably my mid to late 20s. And I went to India and I did a Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent retreat. And it just sort of, I was like, whoa, what is this stuff? It was an amazing experience. And actually, because of that, when I came back to work at that agency, that's how I got the Headspace project. I mean, my bosses were like, oh, you're into this weird hippie stuff. Can you speak to these two guys? There's, this ex-Buddhist monk and, this and another guy called Rich Pearson, who actually was a previously stressed out ad exec. And that was really how Headspace was formed. And I was lucky enough to work with them at the start, just, thinking about kind of how to package up and make mindfulness and meditation more accessible to people. So when I first joined Headspace, I joined in a content role. So I led the content and marketing team, and I did that for a few years. And then I actually shifted across to brand experiences, which was a bit closer to the stuff I'd been doing with Burberry as well. But I always had my heart set on actually the social impact piece, because Headspace as a whole, as a company, it is, an inherently impactful product in people's lives. And, it's so nice to hear from people like you who use it every day and hearing about the impact it's had on people's lives. But I think the social impact piece I was particularly drawn to because, I do like to... I don't know, call me an optimist. I sort of believe in community and I believe in our ability in whatever way, big or small, to try and impact and kind of make the world a better place. And so our social impact programs, they focus on young people. I'm also a mother. I've got 2 young kids, so it connects with me personally. How can we equip the next generation with these skills to live healthier and happier? And then also the element of it, which is a sort of a potential leveler, how can we be more inclusive? How can we make this as accessible for, different communities, underserved communities, as it is, for people who can pay for a subscription. And that's why, this project in terms of making Headspace free for teenagers is, I think, something I'm really excited about. Not that we have all the answers, I think we can still do a better job. We know we have an effective product. We know it can help you sleep better. We know it can help you focus. But we're really kind of working with young people to sort of see how can we make it as relevant as it can be to like help them with their mental health. I'm not a medical professional, but in my experience, I think, the first step is around this acceptance point. It's about saying that, your mental health is as important as your physical health. You wouldn't go on a run with a broken leg. You shouldn't sort of force yourself to feel bad if you're feeling anxious or depressed. And then, the second piece is around, taking action in whatever form that takes for you, and that could be connecting with a friend, that could be going for a walk, that could be doing a meditation, but it could also be, picking up the phone and calling someone you haven't, spoken to for a while. So all these things, these little things can build up into sort of helping you feel better equipped when those moments do come and more resilient. Life, unfortunately, is going to throw at us like all sorts of challenges, and it's not so much what happens during your life, it's sort of how you react to it. And having a sort of consistent self-care practice enables you to live a bit more skillfully and respond a bit more skillfully and sort of manage some of those more difficult times. I love the breathing exercises. I also do all the meditations with my kids for bedtime. It really helps. I mean, my 5-year-old daughter is just a complete night owl. If she could, she'd stay up till 11 p.m. every night. So that's really useful. We've just actually launched a stress program, which I'm doing at the moment. So that's, again, like bringing more awareness to the things that stress you out and like, why is it stressing you out? And having the opportunity to sort of record those and make sense of them. So yeah, I mean, there's so much content in the app, like sleepscapes as well, all the sleep music, the focus music, which is really helpful for me when I'm working. Those are all the kind of types of content that I like to use. Look around and go, oh, that's interesting, like the way that person did that project, and ask them about it and say, how did you approach that? Like, what was, just ask. I mean, things I've done in my career is just like ask for 30 minutes of someone's time and like have coffee with them or Zoom with them or whatever, and just ask questions, and then, notice what's working where you work and try and do more of that.